You don't know what a woman pushed to the edge can do. Mr. CO. Is this all what you want?
You're late.
Everyone, leave the room. Relax.
Some people spend their entire lives searching for love, while others are forced to choose between love and survival. But what happens when a young woman, desperate to save her mother's life, crosses paths with a billionaire whose heart has been locked away for years? What begins as a simple job interview soon turns into an unforgettable journey of sacrifice, hidden pain, and unexpected feelings. Skyler Smith was an ordinary young woman carrying extraordinary responsibilities. While people her age were chasing dreams, building careers, and enjoying life, Skyler spent every day working long hours just to pay her mother's medical bills. Her mother was the only family she had left, and no matter how difficult life became, Skyler refused to give up. But one terrible morning changed everything. Doctors informed her that her mother's condition had become critical. Without an expensive operation, she had only a few days left. The amount of money needed was far beyond anything Skyler could ever earn. Feeling hopeless, she remembered the interview she had that same morning at Howard Fragrances, one of the largest perfume companies in the country. She rushed there as quickly as she could, but by the time she arrived, she was late. The interview room was silent. At the head of the table sat Daniel Howard, the company's famous CEO. He was known across the business world as a brilliant leader, but also as someone who trusted no one. Employees respected him, competitors feared him, and rumors about his cold personality spread everywhere. Daniel looked at Skyler without saying a word. His expression revealed nothing. "I'm sorry I'm late," Skyler said, trying to catch her breath. "Please, give me one chance. I really need this job." Daniel studied her for a long moment. Instead of asking about her qualifications, he challenged her confidence with a series of uncomfortable questions designed to see whether she would abandon her self-respect under pressure. Skyler immediately understood what he was doing. She lifted her head proudly. "I came here because I believe in my abilities," she said calmly. "If getting this job means losing my dignity, then it isn't worth having." Without waiting for another word, she walked out of the office. Daniel watched her leave. For the first time in years, someone had refused to bend in front of him. That decision stayed in his mind long after she disappeared. Only hours later, Skyler received heartbreaking news from the hospital. Her mother's surgery could not wait any longer. Without immediate payment, the doctors could do nothing. She sat outside the hospital holding the estimate and shaking hands, wondering how life had become so unfair. Just then, a black luxury car stopped beside her. The window slowly rolled down. Daniel Howard was sitting inside. Without saying much, he handed her an envelope. Inside was an employment contract. "I believe you've earned this opportunity," he said. Skyler looked at him in disbelief. "But after what happened?" "I wasn't looking for someone who always says yes," Daniel replied. "I was looking for someone who knows when to say no." For the first time, Skyler realized there was more to this mysterious man than everyone believed. The next morning, she officially joined Howard Fragrances. Everything inside the company reflected perfection. The hallways were spotless. Every office carried its own carefully designed fragrance. Employees moved with confidence and discipline. Nothing happened by accident. Daniel expected excellence from everyone, including himself. Although he remained distant, Skyler noticed that he paid attention to details no one else cared about. He believed that every fragrance told a story, and that every employee represented the company's identity. One day, he handed Skyler a small bottle of perfume. "You work for a perfume company now," he said. "People should remember your presence before you even introduce yourself." She smiled politely and thanked him. Little by little, she began seeing another side of Daniel. He rarely praised anyone. He never wasted words. But every decision he made had purpose. One afternoon, he asked Skyler to collect an important package from his home. Curious, she expected a luxurious mansion filled with expensive decorations. Instead, the house felt surprisingly peaceful. Fresh flowers decorated the rooms. Books covered every shelf. Soft piano music echoed through the hallway. It didn't feel like the home of the ruthless billionaire everyone talked about. While searching for the package, Skyler accidentally noticed a hidden door behind a bookshelf. Something about it immediately caught her attention. Before she could move closer, Daniel suddenly appeared. His calm expression vanished. For the first time, Skyler saw genuine fear in his eyes. "I asked you to collect the package," he said quietly but firmly. "Nothing more." Skyler apologized, explaining that she had simply been curious. Daniel escorted her outside without another word. That mysterious room remained locked in her mind. Why would someone as powerful as Daniel Howard be afraid of a single door? The answer remained hidden. Days passed, and Skyler worked harder than ever. She refused to disappoint the man who had given her a chance when no one else would. Then something unbelievable happened. The hospital called. Her mother's surgery had been completed successfully. Confused, Skyler rushed there immediately. Everything had already been paid. When she returned to work, she confronted Daniel. "Was it you?" she asked softly. Daniel continued reading documents. "I couldn't have my assistant distracted." "You saved my mother's life. I removed an obstacle." Skyler smiled sadly. "No, you saved my family." Daniel said nothing. But for a brief moment, the cold expression on his face softened. That single moment changed everything. Skyler began seeing the lonely man hidden beneath the powerful CEO. She realized he helped people quietly, without asking for gratitude. Meanwhile, Howard Fragrances prepared for the biggest perfume competition of the year. Winning would secure millions of dollars in investments and strengthen the company's position around the world. But another company stood in their way. Its ambitious owner, Blair Swenson, arrived unexpectedly to challenge Daniel. Blair was confident, intelligent, and determined to win at any cost. She offered Daniel a partnership, but he rejected the proposal without hesitation. Before leaving, Blair glanced at Skyler. "Be careful," she warned. "Not every secret stays hidden forever." Those words echoed inside Skyler's mind. Soon the International Fragrance Exhibition began. Luxury brands from around the world gathered to present their newest creations. Daniel personally led Howard Fragrance's presentation. The audience admired every fragrance. Investors praised the creativity behind each scent. Everything seemed perfect until Daniel injured his hand while adjusting one of the displays. Blood appeared immediately. Employees rushed toward him. Daniel calmly wrapped his hand and continued presenting as if nothing had happened. Skyler couldn't understand how someone could ignore pain so easily. Maybe he had been carrying emotional wounds for so long that physical pain no longer mattered. That evening, Daniel asked Skyler to prepare a detailed report about the exhibition. She spent hours working until every page was perfect. Late that night, she delivered it personally. Daniel read every line in silence. Finally, he looked up. "Excellent work." It was only 2 words, but hearing them from Daniel meant more than any promotion. For the first time, they simply stood together without speaking. The silence between them no longer felt uncomfortable. It felt peaceful. Daniel walked toward the window overlooking the city lights. "People think success solves everything," he said quietly. "Doesn't it?" Skyler asked. He shook his head. "The higher you climb, the lonelier life becomes." Skyler looked at him with compassion. "Maybe that's because you've spent too much time building walls." Daniel smiled faintly. "And maybe you're the first person who's ever noticed them." Neither of them realized how much their lives had already changed. Across the city, Blair watched the competition results with growing frustration. Howard Fragrances had once again become the favorite among investors. She refused to accept defeat. "If I can't destroy the company," she whispered to herself, "I'll destroy the man leading it." A dangerous plan had already begun. Skyler had entered Howard Fragrances hoping to save her mother. She never expected to. Uncover a world filled with hidden secrets, fierce business rivalries, and a man whose greatest battle wasn't against his competitors, but against the painful memories he had buried deep inside his heart. Sometimes the strongest people aren't those who never break. They're the ones who continue protecting others, even while carrying invisible scars of their own. And sometimes, one kind soul is enough to remind a broken heart that trusting again is still possible. If you enjoyed this emotional story and want to discover what happens next, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another amazing movie recap. See you in the next story.